on the day's French newspaper headlines. Diptyque Laurent has been looking through the papers for us today. Hi there.
Hi, Kat.
Nice to see you. Now, Donald Trump is absolutely furious, isn't he? We saw that yesterday in his media conference about these claims, unsubstantiated, we have to underline that, about his personal life, his financial dealings. And Russia is linked to all of this. What are the French newspapers saying?
Well, there are a lot of reactions in the French press this morning to that explosive dossier of information that was given to Trump. As you said, it has yet to be verified. Nonetheless, let's look at Le Figaro on its front page this morning. The Russian shadow hovers over Trump's presidency. It's interesting that it's a presidency that really hasn't even begun yet. Now, Le Figaro says in its front page editorial that Trump is accused of colluding with foreign power. He has, I quote, troubles with spies, just like he has troubles with easy women, alluding to rumors of possible romps with prostitutes. Now, Le Figaro says Trump is off to a bad start and says that this political scandal has never been seen before, this sort of political scandal in the history of U.S. politics, and yet U.S. politics is not averse to scandals. The right-leaning Daily wonders just how many more bombshells can the, quote, solid American system take before it reaches breaking point.
Well, in Libération, the left-leaning French newspaper, it sees Donald Trump as delivering a media conference that was absolutely in keeping with everything we've seen from him up to now.
True to Trump's style, if you like. Trump persists. That's what Libé says in this article, saying Trump did Trump. He was, quote, unbelievably sure of himself, making grandiose promises to the American people over the next 8 years, noting that it was as if his re-election in 2020 was nothing but a formality. Now, Huffington Post has a really interesting headline on its front page that resumes the situation well. This word, prestidigitateur.
That's a nice, easy one to pronounce, isn't it?
It took me a couple of practices. It means someone who tries to pull the wool over your eyes, somebody who deliberately tries to lead you astray.
It's sort of from magicians who do tricks with their hands, isn't it? Card tricks and things.
But with bad intentions, I guess.
Right.
And as you can see, it's a play on words because they put presse with the S-E, meaning did Trump try to lead the press astray? And let's just end with this cartoon from Boll in Les Echos, the French business paper. We see Trump there transforming Obama's famous slogan, yes, we can, into yes, I can. It truly signals the end of an era in U.S. politics.
All right, and just over a week to go until the inauguration. We're going to move on to how events here in France are being covered in the papers now. Later on today, we're going to be hearing from the 7 candidates from the left of centre in French politics who are putting themselves up as candidates for the French presidency, or at least for the primary to pick the left's candidate.
That's right. And the motivation, it appears, for certain candidates is less about winning than it is about settling old scores, old rivalries, getting revenge, I guess. That's what L'Opinion, the right-wing daily, says. According to the paper, the 4 main candidates, Benoît Hamon, Arnaud Montebourg, Vincent Payon, and Manuel Valls, of course, the former French prime minister, all of them ministers at some point under Hollande, have liked each other, fought each other, and betrayed each other at some point during the last 15 years. Now is an hour of truth for this, quote, lost generation of the Socialist Party, a post-Hollande generation. And you see in this front page cartoon here of L'Opinion, they're not 3 but 4 musketeers, all for one, and each man for himself.
Okay, nice change to that old motto. We'll stay with Le Parisien, which has got a story that it's a theme in other countries around the world. People saying we should be protecting our own economy, keeping jobs on our own territory, that kind of thing. The protectionism debate is expected to be one of the major ones in the weeks ahead.
Well, it's certainly shaping up to be a key electoral issue, Kat. The question is, should we really close our borders to preserve jobs in France? That's what Le Parisien is asking on its front page. It's a concept that, as I said, is quickly becoming an electoral issue. For instance, Marine Le Pen, the far-right leader, wants to reestablish customs borders, tax importations, tax French companies. Other candidates have said similar things, but it's not that easy. You see in this cartoon in Le Parisien, in which a father explains that economic patriotism is when you buy sneakers made in France, and the son says, well, we can't find children to make our shoes in France.
We'll see what they're saying there. Let's end on something that's sure to please Parisians and fans of wacky kinds of transport. It seems that City Hall has something absolutely futuristic up its sleeve.
That's right. Well, imagine you take a taxi to work in the wee hours of the morning. Well, imagine taking one of these. It's a sea bubble, a sort of flying water taxi. That's what Paris City Hall is testing next month. Anne Hidalgo, Paris's mayor, has been aggressive in combating pollution, and she sees this as a new way of doing that. It's a boat that will sort of float on the River Seine. There are a few issues, though, before it gets launched. It needs a special pontoon and special recharging stations. It also does not, convene with the speed limits on the River Seine, which are limited to 12 kilometers, and these little sea bubbles can go up to 30 kilometers an hour.
Well, it looks like something out of the Jetsons, and I hate pollution, and I love trying out new kinds of transport, so I can't wait. Thanks very much, Diptyque Laurent there. I'll be back later on looking at the international press for us as well.